Hello, everybody, and I just want to say thank you for attending and joining and watching our acting debut. I hope everybody enjoyed it and liked it. I'm James Swansey. I'm a policy associate at Restore Justice, impacted individual. On top of today's fundraising event, today is my 1 year anniversary. I came home exactly 1 year ago today, so it kind of like felt perfect. And what we do at Restore Justice is it's almost like the same thing we did while we were on the inside. We just do everything we can to take care of each other. And it was beautiful how things fell. It's just I think it's easy to do what it is that we love, reaching back to help the guys and anything else moving forward. So once again, we appreciate everybody showing this support today. And I see a lot of familiar faces, and it's always good. So thank you.
Oh, goodness. Right. So we want to there it is right there. Yeah. So we want to open the chat up and see if people have any questions about the film, and just talk about one of the major issues that we tackled with this screening, and Harold did an amazing job with the illustration as to what felony murder is. I don't think that's been one of our major issues, and that's kind of like what brought us to Lake County. That's what brought us up here. We made really good partnerships with some faith-based groups, some grassroots organization. As I said, we're here now at Legacy Reentry. It's a reentry organization. They do a lot of things to help impacted individuals when they come home, to help with their acclimation. So it's I can't stress enough how much we really appreciate Legacy for hosting us and giving us this opportunity to just continue to foster the relationships that we've built in Lake County. But yes, it was Lake County that we really had the opportunity to show people what felony murder looks like. And Harold did an amazing job at painting that picture as to what felony murder looks like. So is it any questions that anyone has for myself or James or Nelson? Somebody want to know. Somebody. Oh, everybody here. Y'all have to know something about these guys. Let me
ask this, Wendell. The first question is, why is it important that guys like you be involved in this work? And what does it mean to the younger people that you are working with, or even the people that are still incarcerated that you're in touch with? So let me start there. But why is it that it's important for you to be involved in this work?
Me, Wendell, and just Wendell.
I'll go. I think one of the reasons why it's very important for people like myself that's impacted to be part of this work, because I think we understand it from a totally different perspective. With us being impacted individuals and serving a substantial amount of time, I think it lends us a level of expertise that can't be simulated. So when we're in these spaces, we really know the issues. And it's like we have a real passion for the work because we're reflective of so many people that we left behind. And as I said in that piece, like it's some people that's gonna come home, that's gonna do this work in an amazing way. They're gonna shake the world. But we just want to be here, to create platforms. We want to be here, so they can amplify their voices, and just be supportive in all type of transition. If you want to add something to that, James?
Yeah, it's important. I think the biggest thing is because they trust us, And it's not to say that they don't trust you guys. It's just more or less like I'm a year removed. So everything that I'm going through, they're literally living through me. So, these are guys that have the same aspirations that I have. They want to come out and do the same thing. And I think it's just good that we're able to tell them that it is a space for them to come home to. I think that's the biggest thing about Flap, and knowing us. And I think the biggest thing was that, it's Mr. Wendell Robinson. This is somebody that everybody knows, so this is big, for us to be able to create a space for guys to come home to and voice their opinion and show what it is that they become and learn, because they don't, they're coming home to a second chance, but they're also coming home to being a brother, a son, bills. Of course, everybody has bills. So this is big, and going from, behind the wall to actually learning to, manage bills, and you have priorities and responsibilities. That's what comes with that second chance. Ultimately it's just great to get out, but you have to get out with a plan, and I think that's what we can provide here, of course, with the help of I want to say constituents, but I think this is just a family oriented thing. I think everybody here is here because they have some kind of connection to somebody where they love this kind of work. So and if Nelson, if you want to add anything to that, I think we can come from different aspects. So I know you want to add to that too.
Yeah. By the way, Marvin is my guy, my mentor. I follow you. I look up to you. I love you, man. You the one. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, for me, I think I think it gives guys hope. I think it shows guys that's locked up that, wow, like that can be me. Because when I was locked up with no out date, sometimes it didn't even seem possible to picture myself free for the most doing anything constructive, because I couldn't see myself being free because I didn't have an outdated, and sometimes I didn't see no way. And I really believe that, seeing us do what we do give guys some inside hope, and they can see that, wow, just because my today is this, that don't mean my tomorrow got to be this. And I think that's extremely important. And I think that it's important for the younger kids to see us and it be us, because we come from the communities. We relate, and just to be able to say, hey man, look, this is what I did. I walked these same streets. I did this, I did that. I got caught. I did a lifetime in prison. And I think it's a great deterrent, just to see somebody that look like them, go through it and come out on the other side and be able to tell them like, hey, this is the do's and the don'ts.
And
I think
I think another thing is if you want some people that are dedicated, these are some dedicated people that's coming from these spaces, because for so many years all we had was each other, and when you leave those spaces, you leaving cousins, you leaving brothers, you leaving uncles, all these surrogates that you leave. So you have a dedication that's like reflective of the people that you're leaving behind. So these are some really dedicated people that's going to come home and do this work, because for the most part, just like myself, James, and Nelson, for the longest time we didn't have outdates, and all we dreamed of was getting a second chance, and with this second chance that we have now, we doing the work, we being reflective of people that we left behind, and we just trying to pave the way. Does that suffice, Marvin? What is it?
Yes, sir. I mean, I just have so much admiration for you guys because I see guys that come out and do not have a plan, and they just kind of wander. And can you talk, my last question, can you talk about the role that Restored Justice has had in you being able to come back out here and be the men that you are? I mean, I'm looking at three guys who I look up to. I really do. I mean, I admire you, and because I know how difficult it is. And so, can you talk about that? Because I think Restore Justice has played a part in that.
I I appreciate your modesty, Marvin, but you are you are the epitome of what you know what a second chance can look like. You know, some of the things that you've done with your life on your journey. We salute you, Marvin. But the role that Restore Justice plays in assisting system impacted people, we, like myself with FLAP and our Return to Citizens Network, one of the things that we try and do is, like, for instance, James just said today is his 1 year anniversary. So 1 year ago today, myself and maybe 5 other impacted individuals went and picked James Swansey up. We was at the front door when he first walked out. We didn't try and overshadow his family or anything, but our position was we wanted to be there for those initial steps. If it was any, you know, doubt or reservations that he may have had about his acclimation, his transition, he can look to us, people that was in that space with him, people that were that he knew, people that spent a lot of time with him, and he can see like this is possible. I can make it out here. So I think one of the bigger things that Restore Justice does is creating those type of situations for people that's coming home. If we're right there when a person come home for those first steps, transition is paramount. I mean, how you transition sets the stage for so much. And if we're right there when a person comes home, you know, and be instrumental in all those first steps, if it's getting IDs, getting birth certificates, getting social security cards, you know, all of those, driver's license, all those things we try and do with Return to Citizen. So I think that alone just gives a person returning a level of confidence that they can do this, that they can make it. And I think that's part of that's a part of the work that people don't often see, but we don't tout it because we bragging about it, but we just care. We do that type of stuff, but that's what we do at Restore Justice. And it was the same thing with Nelson. Nelson initial steps, we were right there for him. As soon as he walked out the door, I was right there with him. And Nelson started working 1 week later. So those are the type of things that we try and assist with returning citizens.
We have a question.
Yeah, for those of us who aren't in the arena, I was just wondering if James could share a little bit about what that first year is like and your greatest challenges.
Definitely a good question. First of all, it doesn't feel like a year. It went by so fast, and I think that's because I didn't start work a week later like Nelson did, but I did start within the first 60 days. So I came home in December, and in February I started as an apprentice in the program. So it definitely helped me stay focused and do what it is that I wanted to do. And the more I learned, the easier it became. Because you have so many people showing you so much different stuff, from just how to operate in a non-for-profit space to the simple stuff like sending an email and attaching a attaching a document to it. You know, that's the simplest thing in the world to somebody who, you know, wasn't in my shoes, but it was a big step. But the first year has been challenging. You know, you sit and you think about so many things that you want to do when you do get that chance to come home, and when it's actually presented, you go blank. You know, you just really want to do anything. You know, that's what they were asked. That's what when they were asked me, like, what you want to do? I was like, I just want to get in the car and ride the other way from Stateville. So, but the biggest challenge is, I think, when you're in a space that we came from, you have a certain way of thinking. So you know what to cut out, you know, sort of like cutting the fat off something. You know who you want to deal with, who you don't want to deal with. You know what you're supposed to do as opposed to what you don't want to do. So you don't want to make yourself the situation any worse. Like Max said, any worse, or even though that's not a word, but you know, it's a word to us. So you just, I think I've struggled with how I think, the mentality that we had. You know, it's hard to push upon somebody who didn't come from 28 years in IDLC. So that's the struggle. It's the bridge to get people to see that something that they may look at as extremely hard or difficult or challenging, I may look at it like, well, it's some way we got to figure it out. So it's you know, we take the small things and we appreciate it. So but I think just getting people to see how it is that we think, and getting people to actually listen, you know. So it's a learning process, because it goes both ways, because it's not like they don't want to get to know you, they just don't know you.
Right.
So it's like you getting a second chance, but this is our first chance at being an adult. So it's a work in progress for everybody. Wendell's been home for 4 years, but I'm pretty sure it's still things that he learns every day. So I think that's the biggest challenge, you know, getting people to see how you think, and learning how to adjust to people seeing how you think. So if that answers your question.
Yes, yes, it does. I really appreciate hearing that, you know, the thinking, the challenges of thinking. And I really like what you said about just wanting to get in the car and drive the opposite direction of the prison. I mean, that's as basic as it gets, right?
Yeah, we'll deal with everything else later.
But I also like that you pointed over to Wendell about, you know, 4 years later, there are still challenges. Wendell, I wonder if you could speak to that. Wendell, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I think challenges come in the form now. It's like you constantly learn. You constantly learning. Like you go from a child, right? You know, a lot of us was locked up as children. I mean, the three of us, we were 17 years old, so we like legitimately, you know, we're children. We weren't adults. So now, coming home, you know, everyone knew you as a child, right? They haven't seen you evolve into a man, you know. And sometimes those challenges come in the form of, you know, people that are close to you, getting them to see that you're not a kid anymore. That's one of the challenges, you know, being patient with, you know, with loved ones. And I think just coming from a space where everything moves slow. Now, don't nothing move slow in this world. I mean, everything is like instant. Everything is extremely fast.
Right.
And sometimes you have to be mindful of that, right? Like there's certain things that even in 4 years, you know, of me being free, I haven't experienced. I mean, but I accept those experiences. You know, I take them on. I take them on as challenges, and, you know, just try and work through them. But and it's like it's just so many daily. I mean, living, you know, in this space, having an opportunity to meet so many different people from so many different walks of life, and just seeing that they really care. It's like you be in that space and you don't know how many people actually, you know, care about, you know, conditions and, you know, your well-being, and kind of like accepting that. That's you know, just really accepting that, embracing that. Because I never thought that I'll be in this space, you know, having the opportunity to, even like I see Howard, that, you know, having the opportunity of having that luxury, you know, to sit down and just talk to people like Howard. We have a board member up here with us, Kevin, or just, you know, just having the luxuries of, you know, talking to different people. And it's been so important in my acclimation. And I mean, even like all the people on this call, I know many of you on this call, but it's been extremely useful to have access to all you all. So I don't have a lot of challenges, but it's some, and sometimes they are extremely small, but I'm figuring it out. I think that's what we do well. We figure things out. We figure things out.
Thanks to you both. I appreciate the insight.
we getting close to our time too, and I definitely want to be mindful of that. But I think one of the other things that I really want to say is a third of our staff is impacted individuals, and it's like your support means so much because we growing. We have plans on growing even more this year with the Future Leaders Apprenticeship Program that I head at Restore Justice. We plan to do some diversity this year. I mean, in the coming year. I'm sorry. We want to really get in the space of amplifying impacted women's voices. So we have a woman that's going to be the first woman apprentice going to start in January. I'm really interested in seeing how this going to play out. It's a space that we haven't been able to get in, but she's passionate about amplifying her voice and being a spokeswoman for so many women that she's left behind. So that's the thing that we're really looking forward to in the coming year, just growing and diversifying. And these are some of the reasons why that we really need support from people. I really want to grow FLAP. I really want to just continue to do the work that we've been doing, but we want to do it on a larger scale. I'm gonna pace myself. I was gonna say a much larger scale. I'm just use larger for right now, but we want to do it on a larger scale. My last cycle of apprentice, it was 2, and now we I haven't said anything to our executive director, so this is exclusive. I want to get like 4, this next cycle. So we really need your support in growing this program, and so we can continue to do this work the way that we do this work. And it's some amazing people in those spaces. I mean, oftentimes those spaces are touted as landfills, but they are truly gold mines. I mean, there's so many like just good people that got judged for snippets of their life. And it's not that I gloss over any crimes or how bad those crimes were, but a lot of people were kids, so they was caught up in different lifestyles. And I don't believe that a snippet of some of these people's lives are just reflective of who they really are. So we need your help, we need your support, and I appreciate everyone for coming out and hearing our stories. And I got a whole lot more. So as long as y'all support us doing this work, I'm gonna get these stories to y'all. So,
Thank you.
Believe that.
Thank you. Yes.
Hey, I just want to say before we go, like RJ is everything. Just for me to come home after 30 years and somebody give me a job.
So I'm ending.
And somebody give me a job. And even with me, it's different because when I first came home, my mother's deceased, and RJ took me in. Like our executive director took me into her home, fed me, clothed me, until I was off house arrest, I could do it on my own. That's RJ.
It's